beautiful people. Today we have our guest Taylor, who is a trainer, personal trainer.
Yeah, trainer,
Both.
coach, bit of everything.
Yep, bit of everything.
Do a few other things.
Met Taylor through training with mates. Haven't known him for that long, but it feels like I've known him forever, which I guess is a good thing. Which I think is a good thing.
That's nice.
Thank you. One day we'll hug. I think Taylor's got a really interesting story to tell, which is his whole life, but I'll let Taylor do the talking. And the way I normally started is just where were you born and just go from there. So basically, where were you born, school, and then we move up.
Okay. I was born in Australia, Melbourne, East Bentley. I think it's Monash Hospital there.
Clayton.
No, in East Bentley.
Is there a Monash in East Bentley? No, there's
I don't know.
There's one in Moorabbin and one in Clayton.
Well, maybe it's not Monash, maybe it's something else.
He wasn't born here. He's an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, born.
He's already had 30 seconds in, he's having a drink. We're in trouble.
Yeah, born in a hospital. Let's just keep it at that.
School?
School, went to Brighton Beach Primary School. So I grew up kind of. Well, the earliest house I remember was in Brighton, Lucas Street, and then moved to sort of Mentone, Black Rock when I went to high school, Mentone Grammar, and then.
Brothers and sisters?
I got 4 sisters. No brothers.
Your poor dad.
Well, I thought you were going to say poor me.
Yeah.
So
No,
I was looking
your
for
poor dad.
Yeah, we were both. My mum and dad were from sort of big families. Mum was one of 4, dad was one of I think 5 or 6. Yes, 4 sisters. I'm the middle child. Got 2 older, 2 younger.
Close family? As in, do you see a lot of your cousins and...
Most of them are in the States. So mum's side is in the States. A lot of dad's side is sort of spread out. Queensland, Adelaide, a little bit of Melbourne. Yeah, a little bit all over the shop. But we do keep in contact. So we are, I guess you could say we're a tight-knit family.
Have you visited any of the family in the States?
Oh, not for a while. It's been... Oh, actually, I don't think I've ever visited them in the States at all, to be honest. They've just come here.
Yeah.
So we've just sort of caught up when they come here. Probably blame mum and dad for not sending us over.
Yeah, they don't love you.
Keeping the cash for themselves.
So you went to primary school in Bayside?
Yeah,
And you
Brighton.
always kind of lived Bayside?
Yeah, always lived there by the beach. Yeah, I've never kind of been too excited about like the. And my wife won't like me for this. Like where she's from is from Mooroolbark, so a lot of dandenongs, like the forest, the bush. Not really a big fan of the bush. Not because I'm afraid of mozzies or anything like that. But yeah, we never grew up kind of camping or going out in the bush. So I think sort of sticking to the beach was where I felt comfortable. So that's where we are now.
Yep. You've had a go at the bush, haven't you? You stayed with...
We were there for 2 months.
You gave it a crack.
2 months and that was it. Yeah.
So your best childhood memory. So when growing up, what do you reflect on when you go? Oh, I remember this as a kid. I love it.
Probably just doing stuff as a family. That's always the things that have stuck with me. I wouldn't say there's been one particular event where I was like, yeah, that really blew me away. I remember that particular thing. It's always been just being around family.
Did you go away as a family? Like, did you travel like to Lakes Entrance or interstate or?
We'd go. I was usually around Christmas, New Year's time. Every couple of years we'd go sort of Mildura.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes up Gold Coast, go to the theme parks, things like that.
Why Mildura?
I think it was just because Dad and my uncle got a boat together and they wanted to drive it on the Murray.
Oh, cool.
That was the start of it.
So did you camp there? Or was it like a houseboat that you sort of stayed on the boat?
Oh, we were in like a caravan. So
okay.
It was more glamping.
Glamping.
You had access to electricity.
And hair straighteners.
If you met my mum, you'd know exactly why we went.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She couldn't stand a night.
I think I married the exact same.
Yeah. Mum's good.
So it was your dad and his brother that used to go away with?
Mum's brother-in-law. No, hang on. Dad's brother-in-law.
Okay, so your mum's brother.
No.
Your mum's sister's partner. Your brother's sister's best friend.
My dad's sister's husband.
Oh yeah,
Brother-in-law.
They could have gone 100 ways.
Not really.
So the cousins were there as well?
Yeah, just from their family, my uncle's family, but because everyone else was elsewhere.
Same age, the kids?
They're all a couple of years younger than me, so no cousins are older than me. I'm 25, so they're all at least sort of 23 or younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you got on well with them when you went away?
Yeah, pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a no. That's an absolute no.
No, we were good.
So you go to high school. What high school was it again?
Mentone Grammar.
Enjoy it? School?
Yeah, I actually really like school. I say I like it, but I haven't seen any of my mates from school since then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's probably been more just sort of went on my own sort of journey after I finished school. Yeah, did a few things.
Which I really want to cover, that
Yeah.
bit, which I think is unreal. So from school, you got a job? Ignoring the bit we're going to get back to.
Not exactly a job. Finished school the following year I went away. But in that sort of 3-4 months I worked for Dad, which got some funny stories working for Dad. I don't know if I told you.
Tell me about your sister's car. I think that's great.
That was part of it. Yeah. Went around a corner too quickly. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that I started drifting.
Yeah.
Tried to straighten back up. Went too far the other way, straight into a power pole.
How was that phone call?
Well, I called, actually, my phone was dead at the time.
Oh no.
So I'm standing on the side. There's this big total car there. You'd think someone would see it. 3 or 4 cars drive by. I'm trying to wave them down. No one stops. And so I had to literally stand in the middle of the road and literally flag someone over so I could use their phone to call Mum.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Don't
Dad. Call Mum, like, Mum, I've been in an accident. I've totaled the car. And I'm like, please don't tell Dad. She goes, alright, I won't. I'll be there in a minute. Dad rocks up. He was pretty calm about it at first. Yeah.
Did they know you had your sister's car?
They did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were allowed to drive it.
My sister was away in America at the time.
Oh.
So she goes, yeah, I'll leave you my key so you can use it. So I was finishing up year 12, doing exams and whatnot. Wanted to get out a little bit. But when she got back, she said she had this feeling that she wanted to take the keys with her. And we kind of thought that was the reason why she had that feeling to want to take her keys.
Oh,
so
okay.
Stop me getting rid of her car.
Didn't work.
No.
So what did you have to work that off?
Yeah. So I went to work for Dad at his Melbourne Car Supermarket was where he had his office, just up Warrigal Road. And he had a bunch of cars. Yeah, my history with cars is not good. So every Saturday I'd go in and I'd wash them all and then I'd start them up. But I got lazy. I would stick my foot in on the manual cars. I'd stick my foot in on the clutch and then turn the ignition on so that would start. This one Mazda 3. Stick my foot in and I didn't realise it was in gear.
No.
I'm still confused as to why this happened in the first place, but I started the car and then it started bumping and moving. And then I was kind of blocked by this big pot plant, so I couldn't jump in and stop the car. So it goes through this little fence, hits one car, hits another one, and hits a third. I'm yelling out, Dad, Dad. Luckily he was outside, he runs in and puts his foot on the brake, and that was a good sort of 7 or 8 grand worth of damage that I had to work off after that. But to this day, I still don't know. I mean, someone who knows more about cars could probably tell me why that car didn't stall.
Did you take your foot off it?
I took my foot off, yeah.
And it still went?
It still went. Yeah, so I thought it would have,
It's possessed.
just stalled. Yeah,
It's
that's
evil.
what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, so that was...
So that's your work. So from there, where did you go?
From there,
As a dad, I'd say to you, stay away from cars.
Well, I didn't drive for a while because I was scared from it for a little bit. But I put together these papers that I put together were an application to go on a mission for my church. So the process really, you log out all this paperwork to see if you're kind of eligible to go, and you have to get there you go.
Let's go back.
All right.
So your church is?
It's called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Which makes you a...
Short for Mormon.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, is your whole family Mormons? Oh, are your whole family Mormons?
Yeah, my immediate family, my grandparents on both sides, and a couple of, most of my mum's side of the family.
Now, to me, and I know nothing about it, and I told you I wasn't going to look into it. Right?
Yeah,
It's like,
okay. Yeah.
are there a lot of Mormons in Australia?
Yeah, there's a few. I guess to give you an idea, so we meet in these churches, these meeting houses. It's probably about 100 to 150 that go there every Sunday, and there's about there's probably at least a couple of dozen in Melbourne.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly big.
Do that, yeah. Do the maths.
So, to be a Mormon, and this is, I've got no idea.
Yep.
They send you away to do good. Is it? I'm going to say it layman's terms. They send you away because they say for 1 year we need you to is it promote or is it talk about or is it help me? So at what age do you do this? Where they send you away?
So for a guy you have to be at least 18, and for a girl it's 19. Guys do it for a period of 2 years, and girls is 18 months.
Yep.
There's jokes behind the scenes why guys do 2 and 8, girls do 18. Don't worry about that. But essentially, so going on one of these missions doesn't make you become a Mormon. That kind of happens earlier on. You're either born into the church, or if you aren't born into the church, then you have to be at least 8 years of age or older. The reason why it's 8 is because we believe that's the age where you become accountable, or the most accountable for your actions or the things that you do, and you get baptised into the church. That's how you become a member.
Okay. So your mum and dad are members, obviously. Your grandparents were. Mm-hmm. What got them into it?
People who do what I did on that mission. So they're called missionaries.
Yep.
Or call the guys elders or the girls sisters. They came in contact with some of those guys, and they got taught about the church, and then they were just converted.
Have you ever asked your grandparents what was appealing about it? So what did they look at and go, mate, this is something I want to do forever, or? Yeah,
well, it's probably what separates us from other churches is a lot of churches have the Bible, right?
Yep.
We believe that's the Word of God. Then you've got, in our church, we have something separate or something that is in addition to the Bible called the Book of Mormon.
I saw the play.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'm becoming a Mormon. Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard good stuff about it.
No.
But essentially, to them, I guess the idea behind it is you need to read the book and find out for yourself if you believe that that's true.
So the added book that you're talking about, is it an old religion? Is the religion thousands of years old, or? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could sort of say it started, or the teachings of it started in Adam and Eve's time.
Okay.
But in these sort of call them the last days.
Last days is in what?
Before the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Has that happened yet or not?
No.
Okay. So okay, yep. So they're preparing themselves for him coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the idea behind it.
Yep.
1820 was when I guess the church was established, you could say.
Yeah, interesting. So going back to now the story you told me, it just spun me out. Where when you went to the airport and you had no idea where you were going or who you were going with.
Yeah.
So do you apply for that, or is it just mandatory? If you're an 18-year-old guy that goes to church regularly, they expect you to go on a mission or whatever they call it.
So the expectation is.
Sorry, I'm tapping the table. I know.
The expectation is if you're a guy, if you're a worthy and able guy.
Worthy
in the sense that the teachings of the church or what the church teaches in general.
Okay. Yeah.
That you're following those. You're living a good life. That kind of thing. Keeping the commandments, that kind of stuff. Then because there's almost like a what do you call it? Like you have an interview where you go through a series of questions to figure out if you are actually someone worthy to go.
Yeah.
If you're a guy, if you're worthy and able, then you go. Sisters, for the girls, it's more sort of optional.
Okay.
They're not exactly expected to go. For the guys, it's a little bit more expected.
So as a guy going through puberty and all that, did you
Yeah.
struggle to maintain what they wanted you to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get over that?
I'll probably say that there were a lot of personal experiences that showed me that, okay, all that stuff is actually, I find it true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't drink alcohol now?
No, yeah.
No, have you?
I have before, yes.
Yeah, okay. So would you have done that in the younger years and just gone, mate, this isn't for me? Because, and I don't know, do you go through life and then just go, you know what, what I see is happening is what I've been taught, and I don't want to go there. I want to stick to what my grandparents and my parents have said and what I believe? Or is it more I'm not too sure how that works. As in, because you're going to try things, right? Growing up. Your mates are playing footy or whatever and you have a drink of beer or whatever it is. Is it frowned upon to drink, firstly?
Yeah, frowned upon is an interesting term to describe it, I guess. I would say it's not what the church teaches or what they want you to follow. But at the same time, we respect 100% that people have the freedom to choose.
Is it because alcohol changes your perspective on things and decision making? Is that why they say...
Yeah, so there's almost like a health code that the church follows. In short, it's no alcohol, no smoking or tobacco, coffee.
The government would hate you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
so we're going to make money from these people.
And the reasoning is the understanding behind it is, one, it's something that God has asked us to do. That's the simple answer to why some people follow.
Ask you not to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And two is those things inhibit your ability to choose or to make decisions.
Okay.
So you lose, I guess, that control of yourself.
Yep.
When you're under the influence of those kind of things. So.
As a young guy, did you ever get to that situation where you lost control?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah. I was probably about... how old would you be when you're in year 9? 15?
Oh, mate. Started late. No, I'm joking.
Well, that's the thing.
15?
Like, yeah.
Oh, 15's early.
I was exposed to it, but I never really had the desire or the interest to, I guess, look into it until I was that age.
Yeah.
I still remember the first time I drank too. It was at a footy match.
Oh, surprise. Beer?
It was a nice big bottle of vodka.
Oh, God.
That was my first experience with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that got me... I don't remember the game.
Was it before the game?
It was during.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't playing.
No, it was AFL game.
Oh, Jesus. I thought you were playing.
I know who it was. It was a Hawthorn Adelaide game.
Oh, okay. And you drank at the game?
Yeah,
I thought you were playing. I'm thinking, God.
Yeah, no.
No wonder you don't like it. and what? Just an older mate gave you...
Oh, well, mates from school, same year level. We just finished like a day out in the city for school, and then we stuck around, got access down Chinatown, that China Street or whatever.
Yeah. You can get anything.
Got some? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just went to town on it. Yeah.
Were you drunk?
Absolutely.
Sick the next day?
No. Only probably once or twice I would feel sick from drinking too much.
Yeah.
I'd just get the munchies. That was my
okay.
sort of effect, yeah.
That's my problem.
It's nothing different to what I do now.
Yeah, I know. Every time I see you eating.
Eat a lot. Yeah. No, but I guess I stopped at the end of year 11. That was when I had my last drink, so it was 2011. And it was a really impacting story, actually. So I have a really good relationship with Mum. My claim, not claim to fame, but for me, I've never been rude to my mum. I've never talked back to her. I've never disrespected her at all. And she came and picked me up from this party once, and I'd been throwing up all night in the garage underneath. And go out. She asked me in the car. She's like, "Taylor, have you been drinking?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
Trying as much as I can just to lie. And she goes, "Okay, I believe you." And then a couple of seconds later, I ask her to pull over the car.
And you're throwing
I
up.
vomit on the side of the road.
Food poisoning.
That's another story I said earlier. Yeah. I only came clean about that other story not too long ago. And get back in the car and she's bawling her eyes out. And as soon as I saw that, that really sort of pierced my heart, really, really bad. And she said, you know, it was very calm, very, very light-hearted. And she said, you know, I'm just disappointed that you lied to me. I didn't care that you were drinking or anything, just that you lied to me. And then as soon as I saw just how she reacted and the look on her face, that really touched me. And that was enough for me to say, okay, I'm not going to drink. I want to make sure I'm respecting and looking after my mum. And since then, I've always had open and honest and a truthful relationship with my mum, which has been, it's impacted on me big time.
The girls are crying.
That's unreal.
Yeah, but a little bit later on, I guess you could say, I found or had a lot of experiences that said, okay, there's a reason why, you know, the church teaches that and why I follow it now. You know, there's a reason behind it.
So you got 2 kids?
I've got 2 kids, yeah.
What happens if they want to have alcohol?
If they want to have alcohol, I'd like to think at this stage that I would let them choose for themselves.
Yeah. Would you let them drink at home to monitor it, or would it be? Because see, that's the problem. Because you let them drink at home and they think, oh, it's cool, it's okay. But as parents, you let them drink at home because you want to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, my wife and I, Grace, we sort of said we'd like to not have that influence in the house.
Yep.
So I think at this stage we'd probably like them not to. To one, maybe set an example, not having it there, but they don't have that immediate access to it as well.
Yep.
If they were to have the desire to go and drink, we would, well, me personally, I'd like to think I would explain to them, you know, the pros and cons behind it, tell them why I don't, why Grace doesn't, but at the end of the day, let them make the decision for themselves.
Yeah.
I found my parents growing up were very, no, don't do this, and try and stop me from doing a lot of things.
And did that make you do it?
Maybe you want to do it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd, sneak out of the house countless amount of times just to go and do it.
So it's different parenting, and that's, but they did what they knew, right? Yeah. And we do what we know because we've learnt from what our parents have taught us. Well,
absolutely.
not taught us, right?
Yeah.
Which I reckon's cool because I don't bring my kids up anywhere near as strict as what I was brought up, but I think my kids are better than my kids at their age are a lot better than I was. Be same thing, because if my parents told me don't do this, same thing, straight out the window, gone, come back, which is not a good thing, because then there's lies and there's deception, and it's not when you could
opens up that door for it. Yeah.
Of course it does, because and then you've got to keep that lie going, right? Sure, you didn't go out. No, I didn't go out. And then you're thinking, mate, I did go out, and you feel like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Did your dad ever drink?
Not that I know of.
No,
I've
okay.
actually asked him directly.
Yep.
I knew he had like his rebellious stage growing up, but as far as what he did, never actually asked him.
So it's pretty strong faith from your family, including your dad, that they may have rebelled and then came back into this the following the system or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to call it, right?
I know my mum hasn't touched anything. She hasn't smoked, drank anything.
Have you smoked?
Yeah.
See, I find
it's funny. The first time I smoked weed was in front of a church. Cut that out.
Church of Later Saints.
Yeah,
wow.
Come join us.
The hardest thing is, because you're very sporty.
Yep.
The whole environment of clubs in Australia, whether it's football, soccer, it's orientated towards drinking. Like, you have a sportsman's night, or you stay back after the game, have a couple beers, which I think is wrong. It's great in the social thing, but if you choose not to, then you're in a situation where you're 16 years old or 17 years old, and you think might as well because everyone else is. That's another thing. How did you cope with? Because you're good at sports, very good at tennis. No, don't want to talk about it. Let's just go on YouTube. Very good at tennis.
Yeah.
How good at tennis were you?
Look, all arrogance aside.
No, there's no arrogance. Just tell me the truth, and then I'll tell you how good I was at footy.
I guess you could probably say if I didn't take that 2 years off to go away to Germany for the church, I'd probably say I would have been pretty close to making it.
That's insane, because you were telling me that you were watching players.
Well, yeah, players who are playing now, like
that you beat.
and they can listen to this too.
Yeah.
Kokonakis, I beat him growing up as a junior. Andrew Harris, a lot of other guys growing up as a junior, I comfortably beat them. And
I could see you as the type of person that if you decide to do something,
mm-hmm.
you want to be the best at it,
yeah,
which isn't a bad thing.
I'm very you could say competitive, but if I'm going to do something, I'm going to show everyone that I can do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a video of you bench pressing, and it was just
Which one?
the one where you just got stuck and just went.
Yeah.
So there was like amounts, and the weight on it was ridiculous. And luckily you didn't have the clips on, and you were able to just sort of
tip it off. Yeah, that was scary.
and it was on video, which was funny.
But
But I see you as the type of person that go, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the best at it, and that's why, you know, when it came time for me to choose someone to train me, I thought I'd choose Taylor because and everyone else at I nearly said Total Workwear. Everyone else at training with mates.
I think they're all tools then.
Yeah, no, they're close. Total Workwear. Everyone else there is fantastic, but I sort of thought to myself, you know what? I see Taylor as the guy who wants to push himself to the limit, and I want him to do that when he's training me. Even though I'm going to whinge and carry on that I can't breathe, you're still going to... Where was I going with this? Oh! How did you cope with going through all your sporting thing and making a clear decision, I don't want to drink, I don't want to... And it's not that you don't want to be social, it's just that you go, this is not what I want to do. Did people treat you differently?
For a while, I wouldn't say anyone treated me differently. I would say they still tried to get me to drink. They were still tempting me with it, and I was definitely tempted. Like, there were heaps of times where I wanted to do it.
Yep.
But when I continued just to say, no, I'm not doing it anymore, they respected that, and they wouldn't try and tempt me anymore or try and give me drinks.
Yeah.
But for a while I had to, for example, after a Saturday afternoon footy game, I'd have to leave straight away. I just didn't want to...
You put in that situation.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in that environment where people lost, a little bit too much control and stuff.
Yeah.
Saying or doing stuff that I wasn't really comfortable being around. That was kind of my way out, you could say.
Yeah, cool. I don't know if you know, but I've done Kokoda. And when I did 11 months of training and I stopped drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And going to parties, you feel like a leper.
Yeah.
When someone goes to hand you a drink, you go, no, I'm not drinking. They're like, you're sick. And no, I just, I'm training for this. I don't want to.
The culture of it's just not normal.
Correct.
To not drink.
It's abnormal to not drink, which is wrong. I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it's not that it's wrong. You should be up. If you don't want to drink, move on. It shouldn't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But for you to think you needed to leave football early so you weren't putting that environment, I think that's what the issue is. Let's go back to you've passed your test.
Yeah.
They're happy with you.
Mm-hmm.
Explain what happens next, because this blew my mind.
So you send your application off to
God.
We have
Okay.
close. We have. I won't tap the table.
Go.
We have someone who's essentially the head of the church. Call them our prophet.
So, not being a smartass, would this be like equivalent to the Pope?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
And they pretty much oversee everything. Like they have the same as you would read in the Bible about Christ having his 12 apostles. There's that today as well with our church. So you have your prophet and then 12 other apostles who kind of govern the church throughout the world. So they kind of spread out and watch over each
Jesus.
sort of area. Yeah.
I didn't mean to say Jesus. I know. No, I meant like so. There's the top guy, and then there's 12 people underneath him throughout the whole world.
Yeah, well, they're all kind of stationed in Utah, or Salt Lake City, Utah, but they all go throughout the world and look after everyone, I guess you could say. Yeah, so that application goes to the prophet.
To Utah.
Yep. So we send it off there, and then essentially they pray about where they feel that I should go.
Do you need character references? No. So, okay. So you can just say, this is who I am, this is what I believe. No, obviously you believe the same thing, but so how do they know that you're going to project the right image for the church?
Well, the process leading up to it, so I meet with certain individuals who then ask me those questions whether I'm not unworthy, and then they kind of tick off,
okay,
something that says, yeah, this guy's ready to go. Yeah.
So you get the thing back saying you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Where you going?
So
You got no idea.
we get sent back this letter, and usually it's a pretty big deal for a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of it's like a party, you have a gathering, people ready, waiting to hear where you're going. So it's pretty exciting.
Oh, okay.
I opened it up with my mum and dad before I showed everyone else. Open it up. It says, "Dear Taylor, you've been called to serve in the Frankfurt, Germany mission, where you will speak German for a period of 24 months." And yeah, there's I guess itinerary and all that stuff. Explains a little bit more about the area where I'll be in, and then I think it was probably 6 weeks later I was gone.
At what age?
18.
18 years old with your
18
little
years.
Snoopy the dog backpack.
Yeah, I had my backpack on. I was dressed up in a suit because that's the attire that you wear pretty much day in, day out.
What and why is that? Just because they want you to
Well, you're essentially representing. Well, you're representing the church, but you're representing Jesus Christ, so to speak.
Okay.
So, trying to portray His image. So you want to be dressed nicely, and give that image.
So you're at Tullamarine
Yep.
in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who you're travelling with?
I'm on my own.
So you don't.
Yeah.
You're not going to do this with anyone else?
Oh, at this stage, so yeah, I was sent on my own to Utah first, where you go to like a training centre, where you kind of learn the ropes of the basics of the language, learn what the lifestyle's going to be like. I was there for 6 weeks.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah, lots of food there, lots of free chocolate milk.
Food.
Yeah, they had chocolate milk on tap, like. Yeah,
Oh really?
I put on probably 5 or 6 kilos. Yeah, I can tell you. Yeah. At one point, I put on 20 kilos. Yeah.
In Germany?
Yeah.
Thunderbra. That's all I know. So you're in Utah, you do 6 weeks?
Yep, doing 6 weeks, and then they ship us all out. It's probably a group of a couple of dozen of us who were sent out at once. And then we met, when we got to Germany, met at the main train station in Frankfurt, and then get sent out with a companion, a partner.
Okay.
So we're in twos the whole time.
So did you know the person you were going with?
No idea who they were.
Oh, fair income.
Yeah.
And how long do you have to spend with them? So they say to you, this is Hans. Well, it wouldn't be Hans, it'd be
Yeah.
Macca.
Yep.
This is Macca.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to spend 2 years with him, or does it change?
It changes. At least you're with them for at least 6 weeks.
Oh,
So
okay.
So 6 weeks is called a transfer. Every 6 weeks you either change or you stay with the same person.
Do you select if you change?
No.
Oh, so if he's
So
a,
there's
if he's
a
a
person.
pain in the arse, you're stuck.
Yeah, you're stuck with them. Yeah. So there's a person who looks after that particular mission area.
Who comes with you, or is
No,
already there?
the president of that mission. So he's usually an older guy with his wife, and they allocate who goes with who and where they go.
So they're not in Germany.
They're in Germany. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They live in Frankfurt.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But they could be. They don't have to be German. They could be someone who was from Australia or
No.
someone from America.
So do they look at after 6 weeks? Do they go, look, Taylor and Macca are not getting along, we need to swap them, or they go, they're not getting along, they need to get along?
Potentially, yeah. Either way, yeah. Just depends on what they feel we should be doing. Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
I
Well, to
was-
me it's insane because you've got no choice, no say in it.
Yeah.
So you've got literally blind faith.
Mm.
That's unreal.
Essentially, yeah.
Well, it is because that's unreal.
The longest I was with someone was 9 months.
And that's someone, don't mention their name, a good person.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah. Are you still in contact with that someone?
Yeah, every now and then.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm in contact with a lot of them.
So you were 2 years.
2 years.
So you would have had a lot of partners.
I had about 8 or 9 all up. Yeah.
They don't team you up with a girl.
No.
Okay, so purely a boy.
Yeah, it's always guy and a guy, girl and a girl.
Okay, your mission is what? What do they say to you? You're going to Germany. You're hanging out with Macca. You've got him for 6 weeks.
Yep.
And I'm not being a smart ass. Do they give you targets? Do they give you? I've got no idea.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I guess you kind of try and achieve as much as possible. You know,
Which means what though?
we wanted to look at people not as numbers, but as people. So our mission objective, I guess you could say, was to teach people about Jesus Christ in our church.
Is that going to work? Is it going to schools? I don't get. Are you standing?
Usually, yeah, we talk to people on the street. We can go door to door. Sometimes people who are already members, they've got a friend of theirs who wants to learn more, so they would organise an appointment for us to go and sit down and talk more about it.
So door to door, you would literally have to speak German.
Yeah. So 6 weeks after a small amount of training, I know how to say hello, goodbye. I'm going door to door, trying to have full conversations with Germans. 99% of them didn't know how to speak English either. So
That's
fun.
insane. So
Got some interesting stories with people coming at us with baseball bats and spitting on us and
disgusting.
all that kind of
kids.
stuff. Yeah.
But see, the beauty is
everything.
this means everything the same in all languages. So when they're chasing, you just fuck it. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just say you knock on the door
Mhm.
and Hans opens it. Is Hans German?
Yeah.
Fritz opens the door
Yep.
and you manage to speak to him about it and he's interested.
Mhm.
Then what? Do you...
We either get invited inside to talk about a little bit more, and we have these particular lessons that we go through.
Did that freak you out?
Yeah.
Just going into random people's houses.
Oh yeah.
That's a big call for an
Get some
18-year-old.
pretty- I mean, you get some pretty sketchy looking people opening the door and they invite you in. Sometimes I have to say, oh, we'll make an appointment and we'll get back to you. And I've never talked to them again.
Yeah,
So if
duh.
you get that vibe, like, hey, he's going to probably kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get invited in, talk to them about it a little bit more, or we just make another appointment and go back later. Yeah.
So the person you're matched up with, would they be fluent in German?
Usually, if you're just starting out, you have someone who's more experienced
With you?
with you
Okay.
to kind of help you or teach you a lot.
So do they
Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So
do they sit back and let you do, and then when you get stuck, they sort of step in, or do?
yeah.
Okay.
Pretty spot on. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a friggin' big call. That is a big call.
Look, it's
That is blind faith. That is where you're putting yourself in a situation and you've got that much belief in what you're doing. Is unreal.
I was heaps of times I wanted to go home because I was way too homesick or too scared to do anything. But you stick it out, and it's 100% worth it.
2 years.
Yeah.
Did you drink overseas?
No.
Oh, mate, I've got the beer festival.
Yeah,
I do the old.
remember I stopped when I was I bought some lederhosen. You know, it's nice.
That's
really
another
tight,
story.
Really tight now. Yeah,
So 2 full years.
2 full years.
Where do you stay? So when you get sent to Germany, are you in an apartment? Are you in a dorm with the other people that are in Germany?
There's apartments that the church has organised for us to stay in.
Okay, so you can always go back home and
Yep.
and sort of regroup.
Yeah.
The people that you originally went to Utah with, are they there or are they spread out through Germany?
Yes, some were. So there's 3 different or separate missions or areas in Germany. You've got one that's based in Berlin, Frankfurt, and then it's called the Alpine mission, where it's just more south of Germany, which goes into Austria and Sweden. No, it's Switzerland as well. So people who were with me in Utah, some were up north, some were with me, some were down south. Yeah,
Do you get time off?
no time off.
So that's 2 years solid.
Yep.
In a suit
Yeah.
every day?
So every day, well, one day a week, it was called a preparation day, where we could go and explore stuff in the area, wear whatever we wanted to usually. Apart from that, 6 out of the 7 days, suit up when you go out.
And how many hours did they expect you to work?
We'd be out of the apartment by about 10 in the morning, get back at about no later than 8:30.
It's a big day.
Yeah.
So you get back, you have to cook for yourself?
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, we get kind of a budget given to us.
That was my next question. How did you survive?
Yeah, so you save up beforehand, so it's all, you pay for it yourself really, essentially. And then we had about, I think it was about €300 a month to play with. Yeah.
A month?
Learned how to budget well.
Mate.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
It's not a ton now when I think about it. I didn't realise that at the time because I never lived on my own.
Oh, okay,
So I
well,
didn't
that's
have
fair
to worry
enough.
about it. But yeah, sometimes I only spend $20 a week on food. Yeah.
Jeez, times have changed.
Yeah.
So the first person you did it with,
Mhm.
was he in the same situation as you?
Yeah, pretty similar. He was a little bit old. I think he was 20 when he left.
I'm trying to get. How did you both motivate yourself to keep going? Because I would have just gone, mate, to it.
It's
just
it's hard, but the feelings that you get when you have, I guess, shown someone how to live a better life, man, that just trumps everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had many of them there?
Not a ton, I guess you would say. Throughout my whole 2 years, and it's different in the world, I had one person who eventually joined the church.
Oh, cool.
Which was pretty cool.
And as the church sees that, that's
well, one's better than none, as you could say.
Yeah, true.
You bring one, closer to God, or trying to help them live a better life, it's better than none at all. Yeah.
And that's your purpose, to get people to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I worked with a lot of born again Christians, right? And what I loved about the born again Christians is they don't push it on you.
Mm-hmm.
Ask questions, they'll answer it, and they'll tell you what they believe in, and da da da. And I said to one of my good mates, he's still one of my good mates, Ewan, who was a pastor and all that, and I said, what happens if you go to heaven and you realise there's no heaven? He goes, I would have still lived a good life. And you can't argue with that. You go, well, mate, that's my belief and your belief matches, because I think I'm living a good life. You know you're living a good life. That's sweet with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's like with the born again Christians, I found they didn't push. More than happy to talk to you about whatever you wanted to, but they were happy to bring you in. This is what we do. This is why we do it, and then you make your own decision.
Yeah, it was the same. We just extend the invitation, and the rest they decide for themselves. We supply them or give them the information, and then they make the choice themselves.
Did you go to church in Germany?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they had a church.
Sunday, they have the different meeting houses and stuff there. Yeah.
So they call it a meeting house. It's not a church.
Well, it's a meeting house at a church. A church building, but it's where everyone meets, so whatever you want to call it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a service or...
And do they have the big cross?
No, we don't have the cross on our churches, because the reason why, you'll see that with a lot of other churches, they have it, but we believe in a living God, and that represents his death.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we don't represent that.
Oh,
yeah.
Good question by me.
That was.
That was a very good question. Can we get...
Yeah,
no. Put it in after. Okay, so you go to church Sundays, I'm guessing?
Yep, Sunday.
Okay. And when you're at church, do you regroup? So they sort of, you go, look, I'm struggling here because I'm finding it really difficult to speak to Hans at the door, or... Surely the church doesn't just go to you, you're on your own.
Yeah, that kind of happens separately. So the church meeting itself on the Sunday is where, we do the sacrament. It's where you take the bread and the water. I don't know if you know much about it.
Yeah, so isn't that just if you've been... No. No, if you've been christened or something, isn't it? That you can have it?
No, you can have it.
Baptised?
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean... Yeah, it means a little bit, but it doesn't mean as much as it does until after you are baptised.
Oh, okay.
Because when you're baptised, you make certain promises and things like that, and going and taking the sacrament, the bread and water each week, is kind of, you're renewing that. You're saying, all right, I'm going to keep going.
Bread and wine or bread and water?
Water. Because
Christians or Catholics are
one's
wine.
got alcohol.
Yeah.
So.
I'll be up for that.
Sure we will.
What's a bread? Is it pita bread?
Whatever.
So you go to church. Obviously, church is church time, but who do you bounce your concerns off?
So there's, we either go straight to the president who looks after the missionaries there, or there's a certain or particular missionary or more experienced one who kind of looks after individual groups within the mission.
And did you ever tap into that, or did you?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be
cool.
like, I'm struggling to talk to people. One, how do you find motivation? What are some good opening liners? Stuff like that.
So, did you say the opening line is in German?
Yeah.
All right. So go. Hallo.
Guten Tag, wie geht's dir?
So what does that mean?
Hello, how are you?
Okay.
You sort of start with that, or you'd say, Guten Tag, ich bin ein Missionar meiner Kirche. I'm a missionary from my church.
Oh, that sounded actually sounded very
I'm,
good.
I'm fluent in the language now. I can speak, fluently.
Really?
Yeah. It's impressive, I know.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, so when you went to these people and said, look, what's a good opening line? What can I do to, because I'm finding, and I know now, if someone knocks on my door in English, I'm like, mate, go away. It'd be even, if someone came knock...
Same thing too, yeah.
Okay.
Like, wherever they're from, I'll most likely tell them to go away.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'd try and listen a little bit to see what they want to talk about, but...
Well, Jackie had a go at me the other day because I told a person on the phone to go forth and multiply.
Okay.
And it was a girl, but it was a scammer.
Yeah,
right? And our neighbour's just been got for 10 grand. Hey, when it comes to that, mate, forget it. If you're trying to sell me something, it's different, but don't try to scam me.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. If someone knocked on the door now and you could see they had broken English and were trying to communicate, I don't know how I'd react. Whether I'd just go, I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably, don't know. I don't know.
It's interesting. You had a lot of reactions. People who...
So, it's because we're so untrustworthy. We don't trust anyone.
Yeah. I mean, and Germans in particular, they keep to themselves. I mean, ever since really the war happened, everyone's like, very reserved, very punctual people actually.
Are they?
If you're late, they'll let you know about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so every appointment we'd make, if we weren't on time, they either
You've
tell us to go
lost it.
home at the doorstep or they'd,
Oh, fair income.
let us know about it, yeah.
Did you make any German friends?
Yeah. Yeah, so the Sunday or the Sunday services, the meetings that we'd go to, heaps of other members there. Yeah, still friends with a lot.
But did you make any friends out of the church? Or you just didn't have time to?
Yeah, a couple, not a lot, because you mainly spend your time around current church members or people who you're teaching.
Was it tiring?
Yeah.
Because that's 6 days a week, and then the 7th day you're at church again.
Yeah, I've never been tested physically, spiritually, and mentally all at the same time like I was out there. Like these days, you can go and put up your feet and have a rest.
Yeah.
If you need it, you can zone out mentally or whatever you need to do. But there, it's
That's
7
a big
days
call,
a week.
isn't it?
And, yeah, everything is just going.
Were you in correspondence with your family?
Yeah.
Did
Remember,
you
I'm telling you about this? How often?
Yeah. Did you let them know you were struggling, or did you?
I tried not to because I didn't want them to worry too much.
Yeah.
But every now and then I'd say, it's been a tough week, things like that. Yeah. So on that preparation day or once a week, we'd get to email them. No calls, no texting.
Oh.
It's changed now actually. People are allowed to call and stuff now.
Because email's got no emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
Is that why they did it?
I think they wanted to separate you as much from family and focus on what you were doing out there as much as possible. That was one of the reasons why.
Your best memory of Germany?
The food.
Surprise.
It was the lifestyle there I really liked, and the architecture in the land itself was just awesome to be around.
Yeah.
Like everything was so green, everything was well looked after.
Is it a clean place?
Yeah, it was very clean. Yeah.
This is going to sound stupid. Were you there when the wall was there, or after?
No.
So after the wall.
I wasn't born when the wall was not.
Oh, I got no idea. when it comes to history and geography, forget it, right? I don't even know where Germany is. Is that near Maui?
Yeah, it's around the corner.
So when you, and I still want to talk about Germany, but when you, but I want to ask you this first. When you get back, are you treated differently when you come back to Melbourne?
Yes and no. It's funny you ask that, because when
great
someone gets home from their mission, they're almost seen as like this. I kind of want to say like an exalted sort of being. Like, oh, he's done this wonderful work. He's worked for 2 years. Serving God, things like that, and everyone really looks up to that person, and it's a pretty cool feeling for that person coming back too.
Correct.
But everyone kind of sees you as like, they're really advanced, or the knowledge and the experience they've gained is like, bang.
Well, you've basically walked the walk and talked the talk, so you haven't just gone, yeah, I believe. You've just gone, see ya, I'm going to prove I believe.
But in saying that, the reasons why I left in the first place was to not disappoint Mum and Dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were my initial reasons for going. I didn't want them to be upset that I didn't go. But while I was out there, that changed.
Oh.
Yeah, I was probably 12 months out and that changed. I was there because I wanted to be there and help and serve those people. Yeah. So I really fell in love with the German people.
Did ya?
Yeah, big time. I cried my eyes out when I had to leave.
Did ya?
Come home, yeah.
How do you cry in German? So, do you remember the day that you just went, no, I'm here for this reason? I'm not here because I don't want to disappoint mum and dad. I'm actually here because I know that I've just made a difference to Sven. Or Fritz, or
I did meet a Sven over there. Oh, it wasn't a distinct moment. It kind of sort of gradually happened on its own. Yeah.
And have you spoken to your dad about when he was overseas, what he felt and what he went through before you left, or not?
Not before, just, sort of during. Yeah, he felt similar things that I felt, but he had completely different experiences because the whole country was so different.
Well, they can speak English, so the barrier's gone.
Yeah.
And did your mum do it?
No, she didn't.
Did she have the opportunity to do it?
Yeah, she had the opportunity.
And just chose not to?
Mum and dad got married pretty young. I think they were sort of 20.
Now, Mormons.
Yeah.
How many wives can you have?
Just one.
That's
Now.
enough. What do you mean now?
Used to, polygamy was around.
Yeah.
When the
Was
church
that
was
more in
established.
Utah?
Well, so you can't get mixed up. There's a church that claims, sort of has the same name as ours. They're called I think it's called the abbreviated version for us is the LDS, so Latter-day Saints. They're called the FLDS Church. So I think it's
Don't swear on this, we're kids.
Functional Latter-day Saints. Oh no, Fundamental or something like that.
So you're the what are you? Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
FLDS, whatever the F
Okay.
stands for. I mean, so we want.
Is that an offshoot of you guys, or is it just somebody that's...
Yeah, so it kind of stems off from. So when the church was re-established in 1820 through this guy,
Smith?
Joseph Smith, yeah. Gee, you have done some research.
I've done no research.
They kind of stemmed off because eventually polygamy started around. Well, don't ask me exactly the reasons why. Couldn't tell you exactly.
I don't know why you'd want more than one wife.
But yeah, a lot of them had, multiple wives. One guy had up to 40, things like that. But then eventually it stopped. And those people who thought it was the wrong thing to stop, that's where they broke off, and they still practice it in Utah today.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's not through...
That's not us, yeah.
Okay. So you saw the light and just went,
Yeah,
one's
enough.
The industry you're in, as a
Yeah.
trainer,
Yeah.
you would see a lot of different people.
Mhm.
How do you deal with, and you do it beautifully, because I've seen you deal with, how do you deal with people that don't fall into, not the norm, but don't fall into, you can see they're living a life that's no good. And I know you're not going to say to them, hey mate, don't do this, but how, does that eat at you, or do you just go, look, I can't help this person, or do you try to help that person?
It sucks when I see the lifestyle they're living. I think what I try and figure out first is the reasons why behind it. That is motivation behind anything. You got to figure out why you're doing something and why people are living a certain way, why they've got these certain habits, particularly with nutrition and food, which is what I like to focus on the most. When I ask them why or see what their habits are, that then tells me, exactly, essentially, why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay.
And then that gives me a way to help them change that. Yeah. But seeing that really, it sucks. You see someone who's overweight or the other end of the spectrum doesn't eat enough, and health-wise, they just deteriorate, and they're not knowing.
It's purely a choice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's the hard part about it. You can't force them to do it. You can't force food down their throat. You can't force them to exercise.
Is that the same for your religious beliefs though? So,
I guess you could say that,
yeah.
Yeah.
If they, in your eyes or in the church eyes, if they made the right choice, they would be. So, once again, I know nothing about religion. When you go to heaven, and He's God, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you go to heaven, does God look at you and go, "You've done this 2-year mission, you've lived a great life, come through"? I don't know how it works. Or are you doing this because you think to yourself, "This is what I believe in. I want my family to grow up in this environment. Therefore, we're going to live this way, and what happens after that happens after that."
Well, what I believe to be true is that I do believe that there is something after this. And depending on what your life has been like on this earth, how you've lived, that will then determine what it's going to be like after.
So do you think that's stages? So if you live...
Yeah.
Okay. So if you live 80% of a good life here, how does that transfer overseas? How does that transfer in heaven?
Well, I don't know. I think it... Look, yeah, specifically there are 3 different areas, but really,
in heaven, are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to get into that, we can.
Yep.
But in order to achieve, I guess, the top one, the best one possible.
And what is that? The best one possible is your eternity of happiness and...
Well, yeah. In a nutshell, you're living the happiest life you could possibly have with your family, with your friends, who have also, lived a good life and things like that.
So just say you know someone that dies today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not me, someone else. Him, right? He dies today, and you die in 50 years' time. When you go to heaven, is he at the age you knew him, or is he...
Oh, I couldn't tell you that, I don't know.
Oh, okay. No, because I don't know.
Whether or not we get to choose what age we are, I don't know.
And are you in a human body, or are you a spirit in heaven?
At first, eventually we will become, I guess you could say, resurrected. So you get reunited with a body, with a perfect body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect body.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm over here if you look. Okay. Because see, the born again Christians don't believe that. They believe you're always in a spirit.
Yep.
And that's why I asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, fair question, yeah.
So I could have long hair.
Potentially, yeah.
And
I don't
abs.
see why not.
Well, I can see why not. Okay, so that's the ultimate one is stage. Is it 1 or stage whatever?
Well, they're 3. They call it 3 degrees of glory, or 3 different kingdoms of glory. Where the top one you achieve, greatest amount of happiness, and then it kind of...
And is that governed by what you do here?
Yeah, determine on what your life's like on earth.
Oh, cool.
In a way, it can seem unfair, which I can understand. Someone who's for example, the short answer would be, if you want to go to the top one, you would have to be member of the church, be baptized, and gone through a couple of different things in order to achieve that. If you're someone who hasn't gone through the church, who's lived a solid life, a really good person, they couldn't get there. But that's not to say that they still don't have the opportunity to get there, which is something else.
Just say me, right?
Yep.
And I'm not. I think I'm nice to people, and I don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Would I go to number 1?
Look, short answer.
No.
At this stage, no, you wouldn't.
So I would have.
I know it.
What
I know it sounds.
So would I?
I know how it sounds. Yeah.
Okay, that's really sad.
Yeah, but
I
again,
wanna
that's
survive
not the.
it.
Yeah, it is on.
No,
It's
so
not to say that you can't still get there.
so by getting there, I'd have to join a church and do things like that.
Yeah, become baptized into the church, and go through other different stages.
Okay.
Or, things.
So stage 2 is what?
Also, we have. Well, I guess the process would be, you get baptized. That's one. Then we have temples as well, where inside there we go through different, I guess you could say, sacred ceremonies.
Are you talking about up there or down here?
Here on Earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got temples down here.
Yeah, closest one to us is in Montana.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I associate temples with like the Hare Krishnas and the.
Yeah, so that's only members of the church can go in there, but then you go in there to do further.
And does it look like a temple, or does it look like just a building?
Yeah, it's a pretty temple-like looking building. Yeah.
In the temple, has it got a statue of God, or is it an open? I'm trying to picture it. Has it got pews?
There's a lot of different areas. There's like separate rooms. It's pretty big. There's different rooms where different things happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go to a temple often?
Not as often as I would like to, but yeah, every probably couple of months I'd go there.
What stops you from going there? Just time?
Life, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you pray every night?
Me personally, not every night. I try to. It's kind of, for me at this stage, it's almost like a form of meditation for me.
Yeah.
I can zone out and talk to someone. Yeah.
Do you openly talk to God?
Yeah, do it out loud.
Yeah, because I like I said, the guys I worked with, the born again Christians, there's no shame about it. They will tell you, they do it. They'll have conversations with him,
Yeah.
which I reckon is pretty cool. In a sense of, I'd freak out if someone answered me. So what do you want me to do? Good old. Okay, so when you say you talk out loud, is it just asking guidance, or is it more?
Anything. It's kind of like a template or not a script exactly, but something to follow with how to pray. So you start by addressing who you're talking to. So standard thing would be dear God or dear Heavenly Father, however you want to address them, and then you can pour out your heart from there. You can say things you're grateful for or thankful for on a day-to-day basis. Family, whatever it is. You can ask for certain things. Help with a particular task or ask for different guidance on your life. Ask to look after someone who might be sick. Different things like that. Say whatever you want, really.
Do you ever recall asking for guidance and getting it?
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah. It's interesting with it. With each individual, you kind of get those responses in a different way. It's like, it might be through certain feelings, or you might have it through talking to someone else, and that's like your answer to it.
Okay.
For me, it's almost like a stupor of thought, where that pretty much means like something just all of a sudden becomes clear. Like, okay, I know I need to do that now. It's just clarity. That's how I sort of associate that. Yeah, so I might ask, I need help with deciding what I want to do for school, like what subjects I need to choose. And I just will have no idea, but then eventually I'll just be like, yep.
Oh, fair dinkum.
Yeah. Doesn't happen all the time, but enough times that said to me, okay, this is a legit thing that is real. Yeah.
So with your family, so your wife and your 2 kids, do you have, and I call them prayer meetings, I don't know if that's what the born again Christians call them, but do you have just a time where the 4 of you just sit down and just have an open pray, or is
we try, again, we try to do that most days. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
To do that as a family.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you're teaching your kids to be grateful for what they've got.
Yeah, teaching little, because Evie can talk pretty well now, teaching her how to do it and sort of things to say and whatnot. Yeah, it's quite touching sometimes.
Yeah, it would
things
be.
that they come up with, yeah.
Because it's not filtered.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is what they want.
Yeah.
I remember I couldn't wait for my kids to talk. Do I regret
You don't want to start.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
So because that, like I said, that's unfiltered. That's just blah.
Pure from the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good to hear.
Are you happy
I would say I'm the happiest I've ever been, yeah.
in everything?
Yeah, I'd say everything.
That's
Yeah.
And how old are you?
25.
25 to find complete happiness is unreal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I've, found the, I guess you could say, hidden formula to what true or real happiness kind of entails, what that really means.
And what's real happiness for you?
Number one, knowing that I can be with my family, not only in this life, but in the next life too, so for eternity. That's massive for me.
Yeah.
Being with my wife and kids is huge. That's what gets me through everything, knowing that I can be with them for eternity. And knowing that I know the reasons behind, or I believe I know the reasons behind why life exists and why we're even here in the first place. Having that clarity as well to me is, understand my purpose. That's really cool.
Talking to you, you're not 25.
How old do I say?
No, it's you're just very wise,
I appreciate that.
which is a good thing. I wish someone
In
said
other
that
areas
to me
you
one
might
day.
say, you might say else.
No, I don't. I think you're very wise. You come across, and I don't want to be surrounded by dicks, right? But you come across as a really good person, a family man, and very wise. For your age, very wise. And very determined. So, and I ask you often, what are you going to do with when you move on, blah, 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 blah.
I give a lot of credit to that, to those 2 years I was away.
Really?
I reckon I grew up. I mean, the experiences I had there, I wouldn't have learnt them anywhere else. Yeah. That forced me, in a good way, to mature very quickly as well. Yeah.
So where did you meet your wife?
I met her.
Because I could only assume you had so many women around you.
Believe it or not really. Well, our dads were pretty good friends sort of growing up. They played footy together. They claim to this day it was their doing putting us together.
Of course. Until it goes bad.
We kind of always knew each other, I guess, from that. First time it really kind of clicked was when Grace, we saw each other at a footy game. She's a Mad Bomber supporter. I'm a Kangaroo supporter.
God.
We bumped into each other, and then she messaged me. She messaged me on Facebook.
Hello. You know this is going to be out forever.
Yeah.
So the kids will be able to look at it in 10 years' time going, Mum.
What'd you do that for? Yeah, she messaged me asking, I guess it was a little bit of small talk first, seeing how I was, whatever. Following day I was playing footy for Old Mantonians. It was one of my first games back after an injury. And she asked if she could come and watch. I was like, sure, if you want to.
Were you a good footy player? That's a yes.
Yeah, if you compare it to what my standard was with tennis, not quite up there, but like same solid. Yeah. I know how to kick and mark a footy.
So she went to church as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Grace, yep.
Yeah, she grew up in
same church as you.
Religion, yeah.
Same area.
No, different area. She lives. There was
bush.
a different area out in
Yeah, she's in the bush.
out in the bush. She came and watched me play footy, which was really surprising. And then after that, we spent the afternoon together, grabbed the burger together, and then the rest was really history. The following week, caught up again, watched a movie.
And how old were you then?
I was 21, she was 20.
Okay.
Yeah, so 4-year anniversary this year.
And did you know she was the right one? Did you know whether you had partners or not? You go through life, but when you find the right one, you know.
Yeah, I pretty much fell in love with her straight away. I think I told her that I loved her maybe 3 or 4 weeks after we started dating.
Well done.
Yeah, and a year after we started dating, we were married.
Oh, fair dinkum.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, there's no wasting time with you. Big wedding?
Pretty quick. Had about 100 people, 50 from each side of the family. Yeah.
And what's a Mormon wedding like?
There's a ceremony that happens in our temple first.
Okay.
Where the gist of it is we're sealed together for time and all eternity. So it's not till death do us part. For us, it's beyond that. So
Okay.
it's not your standard.
Okay, so I just got that. To death do us part means when you die, it's done.
Yeah.
But with you, it's not.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes beyond the grave, so to speak. Yeah. So we had the ceremony there, and then we had sort of a mini ring ceremony and reception afterwards. A place called Potters in Warrandyte. It was really nice.
So when you go to heaven,
Mhm.
are you still married in heaven?
Yep.
No, cool.
Yeah, so stuff just doesn't finish so long as you've gone through, I guess, the template of how to get there.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel awkward talking about your religion?
Oh, well, truthfully, yeah.
Do you?
Because it comes across to some people as... I used to be really embarrassed about it. Because for some of the things that we believe, or that I personally believe, it's pretty far-fetched for a lot of people. One, thinking that there is something after life and that there is a God to start. But yeah, it can be awkward. That's probably just me personally. Everyone's different. I just think too much about how people react to what they think about it. Yeah.
When you told me at gym you were Mormon, it was just like, wow, I had no idea. I mean, you were wearing a suit while we were training. That sort of got me. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And not that it matters. It was just like, oh, cool. And it intrigues me. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you show blind faith. And to me it is blind faith because you're following something and you don't really know the outcome, but you know where you want to go.
Yep.
Which is better than a lot of people that are just doing. They got no end line. They're just, every day is a struggle. Every day is, and they haven't really got when I get here, it's this. Where I look at religion and some religion, they know where they want to go. They know how they want to live their life. So everything's done with purpose, right? And that's like when you were explaining, I was blown away. I was just like, in a good way, not in a bad way. It was just like,
It's not a. these days it's hard, or it's not as common for people to be super open about it. I mean,
See, I find that I would think it's easier now because people are more accepting. There's people more accepting about religion, sexuality, all that crap. People are more accepting about it. So if you say to me you're a Mormon, it's like, yeah, cool. You know, yeah, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, okay. It means nothing. It's not that it means nothing to me, but it's just that's fine. That's what you want to do. I think it would have been harder back in the day.
yeah, I think there'd be a lot of.
Do you find it harder now?
Oh, well, yeah, it kind of depends on the situation and who I'm talking to.
Have you ever found people treat you differently when they know you're a Mormon?
I haven't found that, no.
No, I wouldn't.
I've thought it, but at the end of the day, no one has.
Do you do this when they're talking to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. That's unreal.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are you aiming to, in your work life, because I think you've got your personal life set.
Yep.
And you're still at school, you know, you said to me today you were freaked out at the fact that some people are just the courses you're doing and they're just like, mate.
If they end up watching this, I hope you're listening. You guys are in trouble. Continue.
10 years time, do you... what's your ultimate goal in work life? Are you the type of guy that wants to open his own place that concentrate on, you know, the dietary things as well as the well-being as well as a fitness thing?
Yep. My passion is being in a gym. Ideally, my ideal scenario is, I mean, at this stage I love training people, but ideally I just want to be someone who runs or manages a gym. So I look after and oversee everything. You know, a big sort of gym complex where you've got all the equipment there. You know, I hire some trainers and they do all that work, and then I just make sure it runs properly. To get to there, I believe I'll need to continue doing the same things I'm doing now, continue training people, developing my knowledge there, and from a nutrition point of view, increasing that as well. Expanding knowledge there, expanding that kind of business for me. That's where I'm kind of putting a lot of my work into at the moment, because I think they both go hand in hand, can't have one without the other. And I think that's where the health industry will continue to go towards, as people starting to get a little bit more knowledge or get into the nutrition side of things a lot more, because health-wise, people are realising exercise doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But running a gym, maybe Grace having a massage studio in there as well.
Yeah,
like
so
we were talking about before.
you could do the whole thing.
That'd be nice. A couple more kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Unreal. You can call one Frankie, because it goes for girls and guys. Where you're working now with Dan, he has got a knack of hiring the right people. And I don't know how he does it, but everyone he hires are just decent people. You know, they're not self-absorbed, they're just people that when you talk to, they listen, and da-da-da. That's what you want to do. He's very good at hiring those type of people. Like,
it's not an easy process.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because especially in your industry, there's a lot of people that are just all about them. How many more kids?
When we first got married, because Grace is one of 7, there's 5 girls, 2 boys. And I'm one of 5, I've got 4 sisters, like we said. Grace always said, you know, I want to beat my mum and dad.
And how many have they
So
got?
that meant 8, because they got 7. Like I just said, mate.
Yeah, I heard you. I just didn't know if 7 meant the same.
So
8 kids.
But that's gone down to about, I would probably say we'll have 4. Yeah, more than that, I don't know. I mean, we've kind of, life is different these days
100%.
than 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so, and financially, we want to make sure that they have a good life. I mean, like you said to me with your situation.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We had 2 because it was, I thought 2 is all I could. No, it was fact. Julie wanted, I can't remember, when she told me I fainted. But I said 2, we can do what we can. And 4's a lot as well, because you're upgrading your car, you're upgrading everything. you'll always make it because there's love in the house, right? The rest of it's irrelevant. You can grow up in a house full of love, or you can grow up in a house full of things. I'd rather grow up in a house full of love.
100%.
I think that's pretty much it. And thank you so much for joining us. For any nutritional or training needs, where do we go, Taylor?
Well, training-wise, Training with Mates, you can go to trainingwithmates.com.au to see the website, or Facebook, Instagram, Taylor Sports Nutrition for a more nutrition-specific area.
And for any other information regarding I've got no idea what I'm saying now.
Follow me.
Follow me on my social media fuck. It can't be that hard.
Taylor, take it away.
Follow me on my social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud. I don't know. That's it. Thank you so much. If I can find the tree, I'll get you to do the thumb. You've got your t-shirt. Now we've got to do the hug. Get up, mate.
Alright, cheers out of the way.
Jesus, getting close.
I don't want to make it awkward.
Thanks, man. That was beautiful.
This is not going to go well. Do I look alright, Duck?
Suck it in.
How's the chin?
Nathan.
I normally have a paper clip.